How you doing? This is Jared Abrams. I'm here with Cinema5D. I'm with Brian Valente from RedRockMicro, and he's going to demonstrate the brand new wireless follow focus from RedRockMicro. Hi, Brian.
Hey, Jared. Good to see you. So you guys are first. You're going to scoop a lot of this. So this is the highly anticipated micro remote. It's actually not just a wireless remote. It's we call it universal focus control system. What we tried to do was not only to make something that was affordable for average people, but we wanted to make something that people could invest in, whether they're going wired, wireless, one motor, three motors, high end, low end. They can invest in a platform that they can pick and choose the pieces, and whatever they need in terms of advanced functionality or something very simple, we're going to deliver that. So we're going to walk through some of it right now. First thing I'm going to show you is, this is the micro remote base station. Okay? You can see that it actually has capabilities built into it for lens calibration. You can do it automatic or manual. It's got a built-in wireless receiver. You can see here it's got connections for power. We'll show you in a moment the direct connect for a wired option, and you can connect to the motor. Okay. Over here, we're going to talk about this rig. One of the things that our system is going to do is it's going to be compatible with the M1 Palomar motors. In addition to, we haven't showing them today, but we have the RedRock torque motors. Okay. They're essentially functionally equivalent and a little bit better than the actual M1 Palomar motors. It's going to be very affordable. So we're going to start with a basic system that's very simple to operate, sort of low-tech kind of option. We can take one of these, and as you can see here, we have one attached. We can attach it directly to the motor, and we have here a wired option. Okay, it's nice. It's a really smooth feel. It's got hard stops on it. We can attach this directly here, and without requiring wireless options, anything else, I can actually be running a focus like this. If I have a second one, I can be running focus and zoom. Okay, very straightforward, not any feedback or anything like that, but it's going to be an absolutely solid device, ENG style. Anybody who's doing this kind of stuff, it's going to be a really straightforward solution. Okay, we really like that. Now, you can actually take this, unplug it, and now we sort of get to the heart of the matter, right? This is the micro remote. Super solid, really nice ergonomic design here. You can hold it like this. You see that we actually have an option here that's a built-in kind of what you'd normally expect in a remote follow focus. So I've got power, you can set direction. All lenses have 300 degrees of rotation. Okay, you've obviously got hard stops that you can set as well on this if you need to. You've got camera start and stop in this. And again, all these different options. One of the things that's kind of cool about this is you can actually, if you're in a situation where you need to use like essentially a remote focus controller, but you don't have the option for wireless because they say don't use radios inside the building or whatever. You can actually attach a cable directly to the base station and use it as a tethered device. It's going to be real nice. Okay. So we have this. Now, this is an option that you see here. We can actually lift this door up. This pushes down. Okay, so you're not going to lose a piece of this. And now we have the real magic, which is an iPhone or iPod Touch interface that actually gives an incredible amount of information and capability.
So that's an iPhone inside there?
This is actually an iPhone. This is actually functioning right now. You see as I move this, it actually is changing. When you set this up, you can calibrate your lenses. You can do as many calibration points as you want. The more you do, the more accurate it's going to be. When you set it up, you'll tell it the lens focus, the focal length and the available apertures. And there are a couple things you're seeing in this I'm going to explain right now. This top point actually tells you where you're focused on the lens calibration. This red point will actually tell you, and we'll talk about it in a moment, where the sonar-based rangefinder is connected. Because we did the lens calibration and we actually have the f-stop associated, this blue area tells you the available depth of field. So you can triangulate between where you're focused, where your rangefinder says you're focused, and what the available amount of critical focus is for you in this system. Okay? This is actually, the rangefinder isn't connected, but we can actually push this autofocus button and the rangefinder will take over, so wherever the rangefinder says, it will drive the motor, right? So that's sort of this holy grail we've talked about, which is autofocus for motion, okay? There's a bunch of features in this that I'm only going to talk briefly about, but this is actually now a platform for a lot of things. We have record and replay for focus points. We can actually touch and drag down to create focus marks that then you can actually say, I want to ramp between the two focus points and replay those, and you can specify the ramp. We have a community database of lens capability. So if someone goes through, we have these new nice CP2 lenses that are coming out from Zeiss, someone takes the time and effort to calibrate all of them, you can actually just download that calibration. You're ready to go with those lenses. So that is a real quick review. The last thing I want to mention, not last but least, this is the micro tape rangefinder. It's a sonar-based rangefinder. You can see that as I move my hand closer, it actually gives me the range. It's got readouts on both sides, which is kind of cool. Everything can be powered from a single Anton Bauer battery. All of our powers are actually loop-throughs, so you can actually power one device and then loop to the power to the second device and power to the third device. Now, pricing and availability. We didn't hit our $500 mark. We were going to, and then we realized that the trade-offs we'd have to make in terms of the motor were just not there. That's sort of the bad news. The good news is we feel like we're getting a system that's going to be available summertime. And this is very, very, very close. It's going to be a basic system starting around about $1,000. Okay, it's going to go up from there. As you can tell, you have a whole lot of different options. The interface, whether you want just the regular interface or the iPhone type of interface, the micro tape. You can run multiple motors and base stations, so you can support zoom, focus, and iris. So not only do we feel like we are creating a system that you can really pick and choose the components, but also the kind of capability and innovation that's in this system is really, you're not going to find it in any remote. We feel like we're really pushing the bounds of wireless remote and what they're capable of. And because it's a software platform now, we can actually issue updates, increase functionality, which is previously unavailable to really any remote out there. So it's an absolutely beautiful device. We're absolutely pleased to have it available.
So Brian, why did you decide to take this route and make this really cool wireless follow focus? What drove you to make this $1,000 follow focus?
Sure. One of the biggest events that has happened this year has really been the advent of digital SLRs and shooting video. I mean, we're right in the midst of it. Everybody who's watching this probably either has one or wants to have one, the 7D, the 5D, and so forth. The biggest challenge that's resulted from that is now that you have critical focus, you have shallow depth of field, there's no good way to control it. Right? We know from Hollywood sets that the people who are responsible for managing focus have $80,000, $100,000 systems, $5,000, $10,000 systems on the low end. They're incredibly expensive and takes literally years to master this kind of stuff. So we're never going to replace that entirely. But what we wanted to do was we wanted to create a system that was flexible enough that if you want to do a wired or wireless option or something really advanced like the capabilities we see in this iPhone version, that you could start simple, grow, we could make it affordable, and that no matter where you ended up in terms of the functionality, you have an opportunity to get there. So this idea of the micro tape running, autofocus, is an absolutely fantastic idea that doesn't require anybody to have an inordinate amount of skill for your sort of basic camera moves. You can set this up, press the autofocus button, someone's walking towards you, as long as they're pointing this micro tape at them, it's going to actually register on the motors. So we feel like the time has come to change the way that people think about focus and focus technology, and really think that this is not just a product, but a whole new way of thinking about focus and these cameras. Cinema5D, the first guys on the floor to cover it.
Brian, if I was interested in getting some RedRock equipment, how would I go about doing that?
Okay, so obviously a lot of the stuff we already have available and you can buy off our website, RedRockMicro.com. For the new stuff, especially the remote, we have the new M3 cinema lens adapter, the new follow focus, anything that we're previewing, you can get on our reservation list, okay? Send an email to remote@redrockmicro.com, okay? If you're interested in the remote, tell us what you're interested in. Obviously, we'll get your email, we'll put you on the list. We had a previous reservation list. We're going to honor that. We'll be sending notices out after NAB about people. But if you're interested, I'm telling you, the thing is going to go fast, so definitely get an email in as soon as possible. For For the other items that are not the remote, send an email to reservations@redrockmicro.com.